I'm Mrs. Bedi Casilihan, and I'm a piano teacher. And I own a studio. It's a music studio, Pedreels Music Studio.
Paano po nagsimula yung Pedreels Music Studio?
I think it could trace back to the time when, at least I think that was 1999, alright, 1999 started. It started just with one studio, just the Studio 3 on the other side. And it started just with me, just me only, and I have one student, I think from Don Carlo Covina. I think there are three who started the lesson. So I tied up with Don Carlo Covina because that's where I taught before when I was before I got married. And since I know Sister Helen and I also taught there piano, so I got my first 3 students from Don Carlo Covina.
So it started with piano lessons only?
Yeah, just piano lessons only. Yes.
So you just really want to teach piano ever since po? Since it's your first ever instrument ba?
No, I graduated Bachelor of Music in Conservatory of Music, St. Paul's College in Manila. Major in music education. So definitely it's about education, right? So, and my major instrument is piano and minor is the organ, electronic organ. And also, since as a music student, you're just not a pianist, you also sing, right? So I also taught voice lessons after, just few lessons, all right, like for beginner, because I also love singing. That's one of my also passions, singing, although I don't have really that good voice. But I sing in pitch.
Di ba dito po sa Philippines, medyo rare po kasi yung music studios. And gusto ko lang po sanang maipaalam sa viewers, ano po ba ang benefit as a music teacher and as a person na nagmamayari po ng sa music studio?
Okay, that has really, what do you call this, sort of very good connectivity, I should say, because if you know the business, then for sure it will survive because you know it, even if you don't have teacher or what. But if you're the one teaching, of course, even just with 1 or 2 students, the business will survive, right? So it is important that let's say I started with just after I graduated, I started teaching general music in high school because I have it's one of my the agreement I signed with St. Paul's College of Manila because I got a scholarship with Enrile Foundation. All right, so I was scholar for the whole time. So part of the agreement is I have to work with St. Paul's for 2 years, but of course with very good pay. And then also, so I taught high school there, music, and then at the same time, of course, I teach piano because that's my applied. Right. So from there, I said I was already thinking of having my own school right from the very start. So that's why I also insisted talking to my parents that I would like to get this place because at that time this place was for sale. At that time, way back ahead, way back 1970s, right? So in my mind, this place here in Studio 3, that was just like a lanai before, It's not a studio, but I said I want to teach there in that particular place. I said start something like I was already like sort of looking forward and thinking of this setup, and of course, if you're a music teacher and then you teach piano, you have an instrument, then for sure you could start a business just with one piano and your knowledge plus your passion on it, then it could grow.
So,
how did it grow po, the studio? From one studio, then the following years, paano mas lumawak yung engagements?
I think it is important to partner with a school. So, since I had a very good connection with Don Carlo Bacabina, because Sister Helen, the principal at that time, is not just an associate, but she's like a friend also to me, and we're like good friends. And even before I started the studio, I was already teaching there in Don Carlo Bacabina when I was single. And then I went abroad. Then I came back and I showed myself again. They were so happy to have me back. And I said, of course you cannot bring all the students here because parents would really like to have the music in Don Carlo in the place, right? So there's a piano there, so I started promoting, right? So from the 3 students I have in my studio, it was Almond and Almond Mendoza. It was only 5 by then, and I have the Cope sisters, all right? From there, the students, added up, and I said I couldn't take it just by me. So what I did was I issued letter to all the students, the whole of Don Carlo Cabina, and then I asked the help of teacher Alma, and teacher Donna, and I said I need teachers in case. And you know what? The first day that we got the result from the students, we had already sort of 200 something, who are interested, and we started with 85 students. So what happened was I bought 3 keyboards because we started with group lessons, because group lessons you can earn more, right? And that was it. That started. And while I'm doing that, I'm also having the studio, you see, because this place is commercial. So I was thinking if I put a signboard, then there will be like walk-ins, phone calls, and that happened in the process. So we started with just one studio, and then after that, since there are already other students, students coming, especially summer, then I have to add another studio. So this studio, the one that I have here now, and then actually, since we have like not much budget, we just have this kind of simple partition, I have a very simple piano, and I think one of the piano that I had before is with you, right? That one, yeah. So we started, I think start with something that you can manage, you don't have to really loan, because loan will kill you, especially, the interest. So I think if you have the place and you can start with that place, you don't have to rent as well, because rent also is costly, right? So that's it. I think the most important thing is you have the skill, you have the knowledge of the business, and you have just a small budget. Start with it, and that's it. Patience, the perseverance and the passion has to be there. I think the main ingredient is the passion.
Sa larawan po na ito, teacher, how have you grown as a person?
Well, I think I have grown so much in terms of not just in terms of skill, but also in terms of the value that you have. The value I have as a person, and also it has also given me so much reason to continue and to be more committed to what I'm doing. And I have grown as a person, wholly, everything, physically, emotionally, socially, everything, emotionally, and of course mentally. Yeah.
Oh.
Ganda naman nun.
Maganda po.
Ang ganda ng face.
Oo nga eh. Yeah. So, speaking of growing and really learning as a musician po, because there are students na wala po silang capabilities na matuto earlier. So, do you think learning music, regardless of any instrument po, do you think they can learn it in any age? Like, can they start at 20? Like that?
I think there's no age limit, and there's no age as like when you can start, as long as as when you're born, that's it. You can already learn because I also had kinder music, right? That's one thing that I also, I could say I know and I had experience with. So the kinder music is a music program for zero, newborn babies until 7 years old. It's a premier music program for young, very, very young beginners, like from zero age. And I had the experience of having a student na, she was just born, and I think that family was the owner of Best Away Chemical something, and they're in Ayala, Alabang. And she asked me, teacher, can I bring my child? She's only, I think, 1 week or 2 weeks old, or 1 month. And then I said, yeah, okay. And then the child is still, the eyes are closed and still sleeping. And then we have the circle time, and I played the drum, of course, gently lang. The eyes opened, and I said, wow, there's something in it. And I could see how the child develops from that very young age, all right? That's from the very young. And then, of course, I have adults like seniors, 70, 80 years old. So you can start anytime that you like, as long as the desire is there and you want to learn, That's it. Yeah.
So speaking of desire po, do you think they should try in one instrument or they can try anything?
I think they could try anything. It depends on their preference, right? But I think the most basic is the piano. It's best to start with piano because it's prepared. The thing is prepared. Just have to play and that's it. But for guitar, and for other instruments, the wind instrument is also the hardest, right? Anything percussion, drums, right? In my kinder music, the child just play like a bell, just holding it and it will make a sound, And the first instrument that they learn for the pitch is the glockenspiel, which is like a small xylophone, And I think they also learn the recorder for the first wind instrument because it's also easy to blow on that instrument. Yeah, so, but piano, for formal lesson, I think the best is to start with piano. And from there, you can learn anything easily. Yeah.
So for the last question, Miss, what do you look forward pa for your career and the studio?
Okay, I think for the studio, I think I have already I'm happy even if I die now because I know it will survive with Peds and my son, Anthony, who is interested to continue the legacy. I think that's only the dream I like. That I have that passion. I'm so passionate about what I do. Like, I cannot give only like 90%, 95%. It has to be 100% when I give myself to the work in everything I do, family, So, like, anything that I committed myself with, I give all myself. But with that 100%, I always give sort of at least a few, just maybe around 2 or 3% of that for myself. Like a space for myself, even 10% from the 100%. Just in case things will not go well, then I have a space, for myself. Like in this dream, I'm dreaming really that the studio will not just be lessons, Actually, it's not like in my mind before, but as Peds took music production in Pedreel, and he did so well with that, he could do a lot, from learning music to music production. So there is like so many things that you can do just by learning, but having the music education. So I suggest, people say there's no money in music, You're just a musician ka lang ganyan. No, I think whatever it is, whatever profession you have, you can say lang because it's the expression of yourself, alright? And people cannot judge you for that. Like, even if you earn only less, well, if you're happy with that, then that's it, It's like how you do things, how that particular profession matters to you is the one that is to be considered. So my dream here, I know will grow more, you know. And I think Peds realized the value of music education. Before, hindi siya mahilig sa mga ganyang turo-turo na yan. But now I see, you know, he likes teaching, and he wants the school to grow. He wants the education to grow. And I said to him that quantity is not important. Quality is more important. And if you're able to bring the students the best in them, and they would continue the same thing like music as well, like Popa, you know. I think Popa started here also, right? And I was so happy that she said she wanted to take music in Scholastica. Almond, John B, my student before, who else? Isaac Iglesias, you know. And I think it's good thing to know that they started here, you know. It's, for me, it's like a happiness already, a fulfillment. It's more than just like mayabang ako kasi ganun. No, it's more of feeling na, you know, I'm happy because they're able to, you know, from here, everything started out, and that's it. And whatever they are now, if they're successful, and which I think they're very successful, I'm so happy with their success. I think that's the essence of this dream. To bring more people with the same passion to be the best of themselves and to grow, same as we have, you know, what we have. So I'm so happy. So I could say anytime that God take me, I'm okay. Happy.
Oh.
Ayun.
Thank
you po.
Pero wag muna po ngayon, Teacher Bedi.
Pero nga mag...
Masyado naman maaga.
Pero nga din.
Thank you.
I think, mga 20 years from now pa.
Bakit tayo bukas?
Okay. Ayan, sorry po, nag-emotional tayo.